Water Toffee Man is back. I said toffee this time, not coffee. I did a blunder. This is the second take of the morning, and it's because I'm so stupid. I changed the water in the espresso machine, but I forgot to change the the coffee. So I made coffee out of the yesterday's grounds. And it tasted like sewer water, and I only figured it out after I drank twice from it on the video. It's so amazing. And yeah, I hope I don't get a disease from that. But it was so funny. And I noticed that it didn't have any foam on top, espresso foam. And I was like, I don't know, maybe something happened. It's fine. But I should have really investigated that. Be like, why is this not have foam on top? Now I know. If it doesn't have foam, don't drink it. Today is Valentine's Day 2024. It's February 14th. And I will be eating today all day, baby. It's going to be a nice, beautiful day. I forgot to mention yesterday that at the event, they asked if we had any questions, and I said yes. I raised my hand, and they came with the microphone, and I just wanted to test out how loud I can speak in a 100 people room. I was like, no, I don't need a microphone. And then they decided that after a few sentences, I was so loud. I wasn't too loud. I wish I was louder. And I wanted to see how loud I can be in a room after I didn't speak for an hour and a half, to see how much social pressure I can take. And then also test because I was speaking at half the volume that I'm speaking right now. Well, now I'm speaking at the half the volume I was speaking then. But I wanted to see if it translated to public speaking a bit. I was curious, because if I spoke like this in front of them, it would be awesome, especially if I had a microphone. It would be amazing. But then they passed me the microphone because I wasn't loud enough. And even if I was loud enough, they would be like, stop screaming. But I think it's a good idea to just go and say no. It's an excuse. No, I don't need a microphone. Really don't. Say it loud. The speaker would be like, oh no, sorry for eating. I just haven't eaten in 40 hours. I'm having an apple. I'm breaking my fast with apple and coffee. The best. So then they gave me the microphone, and I posed my question, and then the guy asked me again about the question. I said, what do you do? How important is it for you to bounce between a lot of projects, or have just one focus on just one project? And he was like, what do you mean? I'm like, bro, it's a simple question. Just answer it. Don't ask a follow-up question. And then I said, give me an example. And I was like, I don't know. Going in between, I was starting to get some emotions. Going in between projects, as if YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, which one is it more important to focus on, one or multiple? And he said, no, just focus where you get more success, which is a good answer, but still, I didn't like that he, because my question was not about specifics, it was about generalities about projects. And I wanted to see what ideas he had about bouncing between projects, because I think bouncing between projects is better, especially if they have a common skill that you can practice in all of them. So, for instance, making courses, making YouTube videos, making other YouTube videos, it just it has so many. It's the video idea is something that really brings them all together, so that you practice video editing, you practice speaking, you practice camera presence and being charismatic. So you are practicing all of these skills, well, three skills, video making skills as well, putting the light, having the setup, everything else. You are practicing these skills for each of those projects, which means you're going to get a lot more good very fast. You're going to get better very, very fast. How do I feel? Because this is about emotions. Remember, this is about emotions. I feel very good because I had an apple and now I'm having some coffee. Perfect. Now it tastes good. A little bit bitter. It's a little bit bitter because it needs some butter, but I don't have money for the butter. So, yeah, I think one of his quotes was nice. Like, the training beats the talent, which is nice. But at the same time, I was like, most of the speech was things I already knew and things that you can find from other sources as well. I don't think he's, and that's the idea. Like, I actually give this advice to other people as well. Don't try to invent the wheel, reinvent the wheel. As in, he was not. He just took all of these ideas from other people and he was selling them now. Like, he saw that everything like this sold and he was like, okay, I'm gonna sell that. Exactly like the fake gurus, because he had a course as well. Of course, he had a course. So, exactly like those fake gurus, Modge podged everything from the room, everything that you see, everything that you Modge podge it in a somewhat coherent thing, and then pass it to other people. And he as well, because a girl, lady outside was saying, she was my age, so it's fine. She was saying that she liked how he speaks because of the way she makes her feel. She doesn't remember everything, but she remembers the feeling. She remembers how she felt, and it does really change your mood a bit. But I'm not. I don't like when people change how I feel. I don't like, yeah, I laughed a few times. I applauded a few times. I was agreeing a few times, but then I jumped back into my own state and I was like, let's be as we are at home. Because if I get influenced like that by someone, I start to do dumb things. So I don't want to do dumb things. Because whenever someone controls your emotion, they can control your behavior, because they put you in a state and they know that state is amazing for the next step of the thing that they want to make you do. Yeah, especially if they are salesmen. It's called the buying state. You have to figure out what's a buying state and how to get it. But I did have a concern over the fact that he didn't say at the end he could have made some money. I was okay with him making money. I don't care. But I don't think it's an expensive product, and I think it's an okay product. He was just helping people speak on camera and be more charismatic and how to be a bit salesy, but without being salesy. Whatever. It's the same shit. So I was like, he gave us all in the room a discount of 50%, but he didn't put a timer on it. Like, if he would have said by the end of the event, at the when we take a break, I'm gonna do signups. So no, or said, I'm just gonna give this discount for 1 minute right now at the break, and then I'm gonna do 3 more at the end. So be careful and get the discount now. It's not that late, but I decided to go and sleep. I decided to go to sleep at 11 o'clock to get an early start tomorrow. Also, tomorrow I want to start a new challenge to edit all of my footage in just 2 days. I think that would be a great idea and great way to get rid of all the footage that I've created for the past month. It's been a month and 8 days since I started this, and I haven't taken a day off except for today, which was a day off, even though I worked a few hours. So that's fine, but it's still a free day. I took a 3 hour walk. I went with Sophie out like 5 times. Also had some nice meals. I gave myself permission to cheat on my diet. And that's just about it. I feel amazing. It was a very relaxing day. I just feel so relaxed. But I decided to go to sleep because I want to really get an early start. And also, I was getting a bit bored. So I wanted to not be bored. So sleep is gonna fix that boredom up quite nicely. And yeah, I'm trying to see what things can still do before I go to sleep, which one of them is editing this video. The second one is just taking some notes, maybe some ideas. I did some calculations to see if I can really get a loan for a mortgage. I checked some sites, some banks, and really got into some research because I really want to give that loan back very, very fast because it just cuts the interest rate very drastically because it's calculated by year. And if you do principal payments and you reduce the time of the loan, you can have like a house with just 10% on top as an interest, which is crazy, or 20%, depending on how much you are willing to pay at the beginning of the loan every month on top of the actual mortgage. And thing is, I can already afford those payments. It's crazy. They are the places I'm looking at. The down payment is quite high, but it's risen. You could a few years ago you could have gotten a house with a down payment that's 5 to 10%. Now it's 10 to 20%, which kind of is bad, but it doesn't matter. I can still my entire goal is to just sell everything I own, put the down payment, and then get the house to be able to really own something, and then do principal payments every month on top of the actual mortgage to finish that loan as fast as possible and pay as little as possible in interest. So I was looking at banks that offer zero um, payments, a zero commission for anticipated payments, for extra payments every month. And there is one. So I found one, at least one. So well, probably gonna find more until the end of the until I actually get the loan and the mortgage and the house, the housey house. You're gonna be there to see the whole situation, the whole apartment, the studio apartment, one bedroom apartment, probably smaller than this room, but it's fine. That's good enough. It's a way to just dip your toes. I always had this advice. I worked as a real estate agent, and I gave people this advice, which was buy something that's half of what you can afford, so you can not pay as much interest as you should if you are maxing out your loan capability. Then of course it's going to be hard to finish the loan earlier. But if you finish it earlier, if you get a half the size, half the price, you get a house that's half the price, then you're going to finish it earlier. And even if you are at 50% of the loan, you're already way ahead of the person who's waiting to buy the bigger house. And not only of the person who buys the bigger house who's waiting, but the one who bought the bigger house, because you paid so much principal, you own that much of the house. You own so much, and the loan just keeps on shrinking and becoming so much more manageable. So you don't pay twice the price of the apartment. You only pay like 20% over the top, or 10% or 15%. So then you're getting a big deal. It's like really great way to do it. And if you do it in 5 years and you still have like 2 years of the loan, you can just sell the house and get the whole principal you've accumulated there and put it on to another house. Let's say if the house really, so you can really take advantage of the system in this way if your banks allow uh, anticipated payments, if your banks allow to pay your loan faster without a commission. So it's quite good to really focus on that. And the lower the so you get a mortgage that's 25 or 30 years, the lower the payment, the more principal you can do. It's super, because the smaller the house and the sum of for the house, it's super easy to just pay it down. Even if it's a small apartment, you just pay it down very, very fast, and you then get a house. Instead of paying rent, you pay a house down faster in this manner. And basically, like, if you let's say I paid like 400 euros, $400 for rent. And I know these sound like very little money, but here $400 is 400 euros is a decent rent. So the actual mortgage on that house that I'm renting is about $300 or 300 euros, basically. So I could just pay the mortgage and then $100 more to just have the house and pay it very fast. Like, it's $100 is like you cut the loan to 15 years instead of 30, or even less if you do the calculations. But it doesn't matter. You can also pay more. You are getting an advantage whenever you have money. You're getting an advantage on that money because you're paying your loan faster and faster and faster. So it's super nice to just save money in a cool way and own a house. You're building equity. You're building net worth. So yeah, and I really got super pumped, and I tried to make it as, let's say, very plausible. I looked at the numbers and I was like, okay, I could afford this 60,000 euros house, but if I cut it in half and then I pretend like I have a $60,000 loan, I can pay that $30,000 actual studio apartment in less than half the time if I pay the mortgage that I can actually afford at the biggest space and largest amount. So, and I don't pay the bank so much money. I don't pay the bank almost double the amount of the not the amount, but the price of the apartment. So even though it's a two-bedroom apartment and not one-bedroom apartment, but you pay it in half of the time. And if you pay it in half of the time, you pay like 25 to 30% interest instead of 100% interest for 25 years or 30 years. And if you do even lower, you're just gonna, if you do double payments, you're just gonna finish it in 8 years. So 6 to 8 years, depending on the taxes from the bank and all the other things. So it's probably super easy to do if, yeah. And I set a goal for myself to do it in 12 months. That's probably double the time that I need, but I don't want to really go too fast at this. I just want to go slow and steady without a lot of sacrifices to really get to that goal. And see you in the next one.